Hey, it's Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. Today we're going to do Yogi Dandasana, a really fun and not as hard as it looks pose that warms up much the same way as grasshopper pose. Begin by taking, I'll just use my left leg, your foot, let's say your left foot, on top of your leg. Why do I like starting with the left? Because the left for most people is the more flexible side. So let's hedge our bets, huh? The foot comes on the leg not further than the edge of the leg, okay? So you want it sort of right at the edge and sit up nice and tall here. This is a lot like pigeon pose, only sitting. If this is super easy for you, you pull your bottom foot in really tightly so that the foot is right there at your chest. Okay, I made some pretty good commentary about this on the grasshopper video, but I prefer not to repeat myself, so you might want to go back and cross-reference that if you want all the gory details of this one. So spine is tall. This foot is as close to your butt as possible while maintaining a straight spine. If you find that pulling the foot in causes you to collapse, you're better off actually moving the foot out a little bit and really using your hands to open your chest. And this knee is pushing away from you to get more into the opening of the full hip. You hold this pose for at least 5 deep breaths, as many breaths as works for your body, and then we warm up the twist. Yogi Dandasana really does require a big twist to start you off. So, I'll turn sideways for a moment here. The foot will in fact move away from you to get the twist. Your right hand behind your tailbone. I prefer fingertips to palm because you don't want to be leaning back on that hand. It's just there for support and leverage. So first let's just talk about support. It helps me to lift up my chest. My left armpit, I try to scoot right into the sole of my foot. Notice I go so low that my elbow is beyond my leg. So I'm not in my elbow. Yogi Dandasana won't work at elbow. You really do need to be pretty flexible to do this pose. So squish in there. And now remember this hand, not only does it lift my spine, but use your back shoulder, your right shoulder, sexy shrug, to open up the right side of your body and twist towards the back of the room. So from the front, it looks something like this. Now, here's why the foot has to be at the edge. Let's say my foot's over here. What are the chances that I'm going to get my armpit to the sole of the foot that's like way over there in China? The answer is I'm not. So I want to really get it as close in as possible so I can get that great snuggle, lifting my chest, because every twist is complemented by length. So it's inhales take me higher, exhales take me deeper. This hand, you could have it in like waving or high five mode. If you want, you could take it back towards your hip. You could even take it to your front foot if you wanted to really make this twist deep. Now, once that one is warmed up, you're actually ready for Yogi Dandasana. It's not that much of a bigger step. So, you have that big twist. Your armpit needs to come to the sole of the foot, but I need to get my foot off my leg. Because otherwise when I lean over, my whole body just goes with it. Not what I'm aiming to do. So, I snuggle my foot into my armpit, and you could use your hand if you want to pull it into your armpit. Up. See how this leg came loose? This leg is irrelevant to the pose. You could have it here, you could have it here, you could have it here, you could have it behind your head for all I care. All that matters is this foot way up in your armpit. If you can, outer edge of the foot in your armpit. Now, the part that people get weirded out about is they're like, well, how do I get my leg to the foot? I'm like, it doesn't go anywhere, right? The answer is you have to sort of fall into this one. So on this, I take my arm and snuggle. Like I'm gonna maybe touch my leg. I prefer to stick it through the triangle. Let's use this one for stability for right now, and watch this. I actually just knock myself over to the side. I know that sounds weird. So this foot's stabilizing me. This butt is right off the floor. My hand can come behind my back for the clasp, and right shoulder, right? This is very much the same stretch we just did. Right shoulder opens to take me into my pose. Let's look at it from another angle. How about this angle? So I'm really utilizing this leg right now for stability. So you already warmed this up. Why do I have to get my armpit to my foot? Because remember, shoulders bend backwards, but elbows don't. Right? If your elbow is bending backwards, you need to go to the emergency room. Now, if I'm just at my elbow, I can't get my arm back there, right? Because it won't bend backwards. That's why I really need to wedge into my armpit for that extra mobility. So, I get my big old twist in here, and I gotta get this leg out of the way. So it doesn't matter how. This time I'm not gonna pull my foot into my arm with my hand, I'm just gonna push it. So my arm goes around and through the triangle. I picked the wrong angle, didn't I? I'll have to pick another angle. Now this leg, super stable for me. Notice how I just fell over onto my left knee, which gives me another element of stability. Hand comes behind, chest opens. Okay? So when my leg comes down, if I can, I have the big opening in my chest, and see my grip, how I'm holding my wrist? If you can't, just hold fingertips. But once again, let me just show you that arm position. As it comes in, my arm bends backwards, like I'm gonna slap my knee. Bend my elbow. So right now it's like I'm sweeping something. I was gonna say from out of my crotch, but I'm not gonna say that. So I sweep forward and then I tuck my wrist under to the outside of my hip, and voila. Yogi Dandasana. This is a fabulous hip opener, and it's a pretty nice twist for your spine as well. This is Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. Have an awesome day and open hips.